All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah, and I was going to explain a little bit about the project that I did for Friend to Friend, which, once again, is the domestic violence agency here in North Carolina. One thing that I really noticed when I first started this internship was just the lack of awareness of the different policies that the agency was enforcing or uh, just even keeping track of. And the way that I noticed this was I would ask, oh, hey, coming onto the team, I'd like to see your policies. Are there different things that I should know? And I got a lot of different answers from almost every single person. And upon doing some research and looking through all their policies, once I could locate them, it was clear that there were 3 or 4 different copies of one policy, and no one really knew which one they were using. So, to me, that just means that their policy wasn't really meaningful for their agency, and they were also, just not very trauma informed or, um, inclusive in their policies for the agency. And so I decided for my project that I would revise and update agency policy to reflect equity values, inclusion values, diversity, as well as being trauma informed and making the policy meaningful to staff, so that we're actually using the policy and the policy is creating a stronger culture within the agency. And so I thought this worked really well with the different competencies that we were trying to meet for this assignment. So just engaging with the organization was one thing that was really important. Because if I sat down and I just, wrote all these great policies by myself on my computer, we're still not going to have improved practices because still nobody's going to know what they're for. Nobody's even going to know that we have them, right? And so one example, I did a few different policies overall, and it's still a work in progress. So this is something that I'm still going to continue doing at the agency next term as well. But we have a crisis line, and that crisis line sometimes we'll get people who are suicidal on it, and the crisis line is manned by full-time staff, part-time staff, and volunteers. And so when we have volunteers, it's, not consistent that they're gonna get a call every time they're volunteering. It might be 3 or 4 months before they ever pick up that phone, and then, "Oh, wait, I have to remember how to respond in this situation," and, um, you know, maybe this is not the line of work that they're doing, so they're not comfortable, whatever it may be. And so together we decided that a policy that would be meaningful even for full-time staff who have not had much experience in dealing with crisis calls would be a suicide protocol. And so that protocol just listed, what do you do in this situation when we get a caller who is suicidal? How are you going to take care of yourself after that call? And just having this statement in that policy that says, friend to friend recognizes the impact that trauma work has on our volunteers and staff. And, here are some signs to look out for after these calls. If you're experiencing these, come let us know and we're going to support you through that. Obviously, it's a really brief overview of the policy, but it's something that I felt was really important and uh, it wasn't difficult to do. It was something that was easy, it was something that was really easy to implement. Everyone gets a copy in their volunteer folder, and so that's just how you're gonna be able to access that anytime you need it. Um, so through different meetings, staff meetings, one-on-one conversations with staff members, we are a small agency of about 7 people. So it was really accessible for me to spend time with people, understand the needs of the agency through one-on-one conversations, and bringing that back to the table where everyone had an ability to have their voice heard. And so that was really how I engaged with the organization to find out what policies are a priority to work on. Which ones are we going to spend a little bit more time doing together? For instance, they wanted me to write an equity policy, and that's something that I said, we need to work on this as a group because it really reflects the agency's values. And it's something that really does need to have more manpower and meaning behind that. And just being able to have that discussion has really helped. And we are in the process of our equity committee forming our equity policy for the agency. And um, so that worked really well. And I feel like now that once individuals have a sense, everyone knows what the policies are now, confidentiality policy, a release of information, how to use it, when to use it. That was surprisingly something that was not being used consistently at the agency. Confidentiality was something that it just wasn't fully understood in all of its complexities and layers that confidentiality in serving clients has. And that was something where I felt very strongly that we needed to address this right away and have a conversation around all of these issues. And I found the reaction from staff was relief, relief in knowing what they can and cannot do. And for the other competencies, I feel like once our staff are confident and feel like they know where their boundaries are, we're going to have better services for our clients, right? So it's going to affect the organization on a deeper level. When we're not sharing information that we're not supposed to, our clients feel safer coming to us. They know that their information is going to be protected. They know when they call that crisis line, someone's going to know what to say back to them. They're not going to have someone scared on the other line. They're going to have someone who's responding and not reacting to what they're saying. So that's going to improve our agency services to all of our clients. um, I chose this project not only because it was needed in the agency, but it's because something that I haven't had experience with before in writing policy, and I am interested in being able to do that one day, and feel like it's an appropriate skill to have for macro level work. And it really forced me to look critically at our policies, why we're doing what we're doing, why do we have this policy, um, and just look at things through different lenses, right? Is this trauma informed? Um, is this equitable? Is this helping our agency get new levels of diversity? And yeah, so I think that was it. Um, I'm excited to hear what you all did, and thank you for any feedback that you may have.